Welcome back to another episode of Eagle vs. Kiwi podcast, a show about living in New Zealand. About living in America from the perspective of a New Zealander. And on today's show, we are going to be talking about, because I'm brown, I get mistaken for being Hispanic, Mexican, specifically. And we're going to just talk about that today. I remember being in Pittsburgh and the first time I came up against this. I think it was in Pittsburgh or Portland. I can't quite remember. But she asked me, where I'm from. And I said, New Zealand. And then she said, no, but where are you from? And I'm like, oh, my ethnicity. Okay, use your words. My ethnicity is Samoan. So when I say Samoan, that is the traditional way to say Samoan. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. But because a lot of people don't understand what that means, I have to dull it down. I have to white it up, if you want to call it. No, I don't have to white it up. But I have to say it in more layman's terms, really. And I started doing this was actually from this encounter. The reason being, she asked me where I'm from. I said New Zealand, but then she replied saying, where are you really from? And I said, well, I'm Samoan, so I'm technically Samoan, but I was born in New Zealand. And then her reply back to that when I said that I was Samoan was, where in Mexico is that? I wish I was fucking lying. I wish I was lying, but I'm not. So I said, oh, no. I'm Samoan. Oh, Samoan. Every time I say Samoan, I feel my brain start to bleed. Because it's not how it's meant to be said, I mean, when you live in New Zealand, it's Māori. Or, a lot of people can say Maori. But, it is what it is. New Zealanders know what Māori is. New Zealanders know what Fijian is, Tongan is, Samoan is, People know what Samoan is. In America, it's a little tough. And I feel bad for Māori people who come over when they say, I'm Māori. What's that? It's like, oh, it's indigenous to New Zealand. I've had a couple of people ask me if I'm Māori, but I said, no, I'm Samoan. And now I say it naturally. Oh, that hurts my heart that I have to say that. They say, are you Māori? I'm like, no, I'm Samoan. I'm like, oh, wow. It's funny. Okay, so two things go through people's brains when I tell them I'm from New Zealand. The first thing, so the opening question is, do you mind where your accent's from, or are you from Australia? Okay. My reply is always a 1-2 punch. I say, no, I'm from New Zealand. Oh, wow, that's cool. That's so great. Then they talk about New Zealand on their part for a little bit. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go there. Da-da-da-da-da. And then the next question, if they're educated enough, they'll say, so are you Maori? Or Maori? I'm like, no, I'm Samoan. And then it's the 1-2 punch. Whoa, you're Samoan? It's like you're not only New Zealander, but you're Samoan. And I actually said this on my Facebook page one time. People get stoked to meet an Australian. But you know what trumps that? Meeting a New Zealander. Because they expect to hear an Australian accent, but then they go, oh, wow, you're from New Zealand. Oh, my God. Holy shit. I've shit my pants. I can't believe it. Oh, I've pissed myself. I'm so excited. Oh, my God. I was talking to this guest who went to New Zealand for a month, and she did the touristy thing, traveled from the north all the way down to the south. For you Americans, if you haven't looked at a map recently, New Zealand is made of two islands, the North Island and the South Island. I'm from the North Island, the lower part of the North Island. When I say that I'm from the lower part of the North Island, people say, is that the South? I'm like, no, it's not, you fuckhead. It's not the South Island. I just said lower part of the North. Well, I guess I could have said south of North, but then they would have got more confused. And I said to this lady, I said, you don't know how good you've got it until you're gone. You don't know what you got until it's gone, And I'm not saying America is not great, because it is. It's given me so much opportunity here in America, which I never thought I would have had. I never thought I would have had this podcast. I never thought I would have, done the things that I've done here in America. It's fucking great. But being here in America, in the biggest, the number one spot in the world for popularity and all that kind of bullshit, America's done a very good job of marketing itself. But compared to New Zealand, we're still in touch. We're just very westernized. We're still in touch with what's going on. We are very proud of the things that we've created and we've made in New Zealand, that we hold on to it very dearly. And if you've listened to the past podcasts, I've said, even the music, from the 80s and the 90s, they hold on to it. They hold on to these legends. You know what I mean? They hold them very dear, and they still do shows in New Zealand, and they still make their money, which is great to see that they, support these local icons. And I feel some New Zealanders may disagree with me on this, but looking at how this Hispanic community here in America is treated, I think New Zealand does a very, very good job on preserving their cultural identity inside New Zealand. And I know some New Zealanders, they're going to be like, no, they're not. They're fucking taking all their rights away. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, all right? Shut up. If you're one of those people that say, no, they're not, they're treating them unfairly, you don't know fucking shit. Honestly. Come to America and have a look at the Native Americans. We were driving through from Portland to Austin, and we drove through New Mexico to go to Albuquerque, which don't live in Albuquerque because your shit will get stolen. That's another podcast for a different time. But we were just driving through, and they've got this settlement, you know what I mean, where Mexicans... So basically, the Hispanic culture or community, if they have their, they've got their land is theirs, so they can do whatever they want on their land, right? So they've got, these Indian reservations. They've got, casinos on them. They've got casinos on these Indian reservations, which is so funny because when we're driving through, you'll see desert land, flat land, all but nothing but rocks, boulders, dust, red sand. It's just insane, flat land. And all of a sudden you'll drive up, boom, massive casino, and the car park is full. The one random thing that generates money for the entire land is this one casino that everyone goes to. It's fucking... And I'm not talking about just like a small size casino. I'm talking about big, full-on, multiple car parks, massive fucking casino. As you drive in, there's a huge fountain. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, good for them, And a lot of people will say in New Zealand, Māori don't have their land. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. It's, their land is being taken away. However, the culture of New Zealand and Māori people specifically, I feel, is being preserved so much better than the Native Americans of New Zealand, America, sorry. But, yeah, that's my take. I don't know fucking shit, all right? I'm just going off from what I see. Okay? So don't fucking get up in arms about me fucking shit. But yeah, people always assume that I'm Mexican or Hispanic. You know what I mean? I don't know what the PC version is for that word, but yeah, people assume that I'm from Mexico. And I don't even like tacos. Yeah, I don't. I don't even like tacos. I don't look at that as a satisfactory meal. And I think it stems back from, we went to a place called Mexico in Auckland, off Queen Street, and Mexico is this really nice restaurant. It's a Mexican themed restaurant. So Megan wanted to take me. I think I've told this story before, but I'm not sure. She said, "Oh, we're gonna go get tacos. We're gonna get real tacos. All these great meats, and it's super cheap. You can afford it." And I'm like, "Okay, that's great." Remember getting there, got 2 tacos for $10.50. And I was so bummed because I ate my 2 and I looked at it. It's the size of my palm with fuck all filling on the inside. I looked at it and I said, this is $10.50. These 2, $10.50. You're basically telling me one of these is $5.25. That's exactly what you're saying. This is not fucking worth it. And I think it skewed my vision of tacos. And I'm just not a big taco fan, honestly. I'm just not a big taco fan. I'm not. Burrito, I mean, I'll love the stereotypical stuff here in America, like the Torchies, where it's a local icon here in Austin. I love Torchies. Chipotle. I love Chipotle. Freebirds here in Austin, but we had a really shit experience at Freebirds. The customer service fucking sucked. Where else is another place? Polio Loco? No, I can't remember now. But there's one restaurant in New Zealand that I really miss, and this could be like, it's a chain restaurant that I miss so much in New Zealand, and Nando's chicken. I love Nando's chicken so much. I'd get half a chicken with some chips. Boom, done, man. Straight up. I love Nando's chicken. If you don't know what Nando's is, just type it in Google, Nando's chicken. I went to the one on Ponsonby Road in Auckland. I love Nando's. I would go there after work or on my 30-minute break. The brother will hook me up with 10 chicken wings with fucking sweet Thai chili sauce on top. Oh, man, that was it. And a little bit of mixed veg on the side. Or if Megan and I would go out, I remember this was the last time Megan and I went to Nando's, was I got a half a chicken with French fries and a mixed veg. Loved it. I fucking loved it. We always talk about Auckland and how much we miss it. You know, we do want to move back. That's the ultimate goal. I think a lot of people always ask me, like, what are you doing here in America? And it's like, well, then I have to go through the whole spiel of, well, my wife was doing her master's in Auckland, New Zealand. When she graduated, there's more job opportunities here in America. So we moved over to Pittsburgh, and then she got a job offer in Portland, moved to Portland, then got a job offer in Austin, and then we moved to Austin. Like, that's 4 years in a fucking nutshell. It's so, like, Americans love asking me broad questions that I just can't wrap up. I'm not going to look forward for it in 10 years' time. Like, if we end up somewhere else in, like, fucking Minnesota, be like, how'd you end up in Minnesota? Well, then, 10 years ago, my wife, she graduated, and then I'll fucking chop my face off. But, yeah, it's funny to me. I genuinely don't mind it. When people ask me where I'm from, it's when people assume the ethnicity that I am because I'm brown. Next time I do that, I should probably say, oh, but where are you from? America? No. Where are you from? Are you Irish? Are you Scottish? Welsh? What's your ancestry? American. I'm like, yeah, well, because no, you asked me the same question. Like, what are you? It's funny, if you're a different skin color, people want to know, like, your legit background. But if you're white, people are just like, white, European. That's all good. Okay, I'm going to cut this podcast here. This is how long it is. It's because this is what I love about this show. I've got no sponsored reads. I don't have to do any of that shit. And I can just talk about my everyday life that's been going on since I moved to America. And I fucking love it. All right, so I'm going to leave this podcast here because I do what I want. And it's my show. And it's a 30-minute show, now 14-minute show, and that's okay. Look, if you enjoyed the show, please share this with your friends on your Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter accounts. Please, it would mean a lot to me. If you haven't already, just follow us on Podbean as well, which is where this podcast is, which is where you're listening. Follow it, download the app, follow us. And if you love this show, even more, to a point where you feel like chucking in a couple of shekels our way, we've got a Patreon account set up through Podbean. Okay, it's through Podbean. So what we'll do is I'm just going to head to this real quick to explain what the fuck I'm talking about. So if you're listening to this on the website or if you're listening to this on the app, you just quickly click the Become a Patreon tab. Then it'll open up or take you to a new screen, which you could see the entire rundown of what we are doing and who we are as a show. The website is patreon.podbean.com/Eagle vs. Kiwi podcast. I might make a Patreon account and shut this down, but I don't know. Don't listen to me. And there you can pledge as little to as much as you want. Right now, we've only got $1 and $5 rewards. When you pledge $1, you get an email from me saying thank you very much, your name and the credits of this Podbean website, and I'll follow you on your social media accounts. And if you pledge $5, you'll get everything from the $1 amount, your name shout out at the beginning and end of every Eagle vs. Kiwi podcast as well. Okay, so please support the show. Our goal right now is to get to a $200 a month, and the reason being is the general upkeep of the show, to pay for this website, the premium account that I've got going on for it, just to keep that alive so the shows will stay in one place, to pay for another subscription to SoundCloud so we can get the show on SoundCloud as well, because we've got the first 3 episodes up, and that was more of a teaser for people who could possibly find us on SoundCloud so they can come over to the Podbean website to listen to the rest of the shows. And a video, that's right, video. We want to set up a little bit of a video studio type deal, so we can add another aspect to the show's dynamic. Okay, and we've got some other stuff too, but everything can be found and read on the patreon.podbean.com/Eagle vs Kiwi podcast. Okay, all right, podcast is done. See you later. Goodbye. I love you.